Okay, everyone. Now, good morning. So we have a couple of things to do today. One of which is that I really want to get into the Ken Sir theme song for the concert. That's one thing. There's another thing that I want to get into, and I really don't know what that is. Also, Cancer Clubus is going to be meeting today to finish up what they're going to be doing for their reading on the introduction to Cancer. And what's going to be happening today is we've done most everything yesterday with our new Edmonton guest. We went to the park, we went to the stadium a little and played a couple of games. We had a picnic, we rode scooters around, and a lot of great things. So, the next thing on the list, because we want to follow the Just Said Magic. Now, what's going to be happening is, we are going to be going over to the Edmonton headquarters today. Okay, we're going to be heading over there today because they want us to help organize because they're having some new events coming in there. And what's going to be happening is that the majority of the Mintons is working on a fictional character museum. And that's going to be set up in taking a really, really huge area of the Minton headquarters. So if you want to volunteer for setting up the characters and putting the portraits of things in there, then you can. Because apparently the other Mintons and the other Labimbis have read and done more stuff along those lines that I did. So you're all going to, just like we did the last time, you're going to be, drawing your names from, what they're going to be doing is they're going to have certain individuals with certain areas, and you're going to volunteer in one of those areas to do one of those jobs. Okay, that's going to be your task, okay? And then what's going to happen is we're going to be going somewhere we have never been to for lunch, and we are going to be heading to what I thought that we would all really, really like for lunch is we're going to have kind of a fancier lunch, what we might do actually. So actually, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to be writing down several options for what we want to, okay? To go to for lunch today. No, Kels is not on the list. No. But here are the possible options. Because there is several options. Okay? And we're going to be voting on one of those options. So, I agree with it sometimes, I agree with it other times. Majority rules. But we can always go, but here's the thing. I'm a field game player. So if the majority gets something, and then the other people are not happy with it, it's not what they choose, we'll go back, and those other people will be, will get what they wanted another time. Okay, I think that that is fair enough, okay? So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be writing down some restaurant options because we're going to be taking Chuck out to lunch today, okay? After we're done at the headquarters. Then, like the last time, we're going to be going back to the Four Flats building, and there's going to be some organizational stuff over there. I think that this would be a good thing to do on a Saturday, is to go to lunch. And then what's going to be happening is, I really don't know what we're going to be doing after we get done with the Four Fletches and Flats. We might come back here and we might watch some episodes of Just That Magic and pay attention to some very, very important lines and details in the show. Okay, so we're going to be, you've seen the episodes before, so we're going to be watching one or two of those episodes, and I'm going to tell you what to pay attention to. So, the restaurant options, the very, very first one that I have in mind is Sports Page, which is very, very close to here. If you just go up the street, up around that big church over to the south, then you'll see the restaurant Sports Page. Now, here's the thing that you've all been really wondering about, okay, is the fact about the germ killers, okay? So what's going to be happening is that you're going to be responsible for the germ killers. So with every interaction that you have, if you're meeting the waitress, if you're meeting the person who's going to direct you to tables, then you can either go down the difficult route and be conscious of how much distance that you're standing, which is something I know I'm not going to do. Or you can trust the germ killer product, okay, which is something I know that Kim Reynolds does not do, apparently. So so what's going to be happening is, when you meet the waitress, okay, with the interactions, you're going to have your own bottle of germ killer. There has been a ton of shipments that have just been delivered overnight. Okay, so we have like germ killer galore and like 1,000 to spare. So you're going to be responsible for it, though. Treat it like it's your own. Keep track of it. Don't waste it. Use it sparingly. Okay, you just need a decent amount that you're going to be taking, and you're going to be spreading on your fingers and maybe even your face, okay? Also, here's the thing. So what you need is your fingers and then this area of your face right here. Do you see what I'm pointing to? That's the area where if you would go into a medical building, you would be putting a face mask on. Okay, so just around your nose and mouth and everything, okay? Now, I think it's ridiculous, unnecessary, and it's silly, and it's a joke if I see you wearing face masks in any other public place except for a doctor. And I think it's silly why we have to stand 6 feet, although I'm going to be realistic only because I just need to. It does exist, and it is realistic. So to work around that and to compromise it, we're going to be approaching something where you don't have to take all the safety measures and put a ridiculous face mask on, but you will need to apply just like a little sunblock, something that you're going to be putting on your face. I don't really see any complaints with that. I don't really see any difficulties with that, and that, let me tell you that, although it looks semi-silly, if I had to compare it to wearing a face mask, it would be a lot less so, comparatively. Okay, but that's something that you need to do. Okay, that's something that all of you need to do. Okay, is put the thing on there, and then you can forget about it. Once you put it on your skin, you don't even need that much because it just goes right through and it absorbs and it kills the germs and it absorbs all the germs of what you might have. You can forget about it. You're totally fine after you walk out. Perfectly normal. Say 14 days later. Okay? So again, it's that trust in the product. You have to trust me and you have to trust the product. If it doesn't seem safe enough for you, then that's your own opinion. You can think whatever you want about it. You can feel however you want about it. But I'm just going to be blunt about it. And I'm going to tell you that you are not allowed, if you feel like it's not safe enough to put a face mask on. You know what'll happen if you put a face mask on? I'll take it off, I'll whip it away, and I'll throw it in that incinerator. Well, I'm probably exaggerating and kidding. Okay, I might actually, if you're willing it, I might just I'm going to just tell you to take it off. And when I say that, I say it with demand, I say it with authority, and you'll do that for the rest of the time. Because you should not have to. And I will not have you doing that. And if you see other people doing that, then here's my advice. That's them. But here's what I would recommend to you. And you can do this. It won't hurt. And we have 1,000 to spare. So people already come to this Minton for this resource, and it's still hidden. No one knows about it yet. But there are people who just come in and help themselves. And you know what? We have enough supply where that is totally fine. Here's what I would recommend, okay? And this is not crazy at all. You put it on before you hand the bottle over to your other person to put it on, okay? That's what you need to do. Put some on before giving it to your friends, before giving it to an action. Here's what I would recommend. I would say take the mask off. And you've already put it on your skin, okay? It lasts for about 2 hours, they said. It lasts for about 2 hours, and then, and then, the effects of it will off. And after that 2 hours, they said you need to put more on, put a little bit more on. Well, I think it's more like 5 hours actually, so 5 hours. So that's plenty of time, so you don't need to worry about 2 5 hours. So you put it on, you go up to a random person, probably wearing one of those masks, and you tell them, take off that, because I got something for you. And you're going to say, it's like you're going to try to commercialize it. Give it to them, tell them where to put it. You can talk, and you can get as close as you want. You can do anything, and you can bond however long that you want to, preferably under that 5 hour limit. We're working on how to make a germ killer product that lasts forever. That's what we're working on now. But I think that you all have it pretty good. I think that's an amazing product and very, very handy. Okay, so it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to be a really, really big measure. That's the only thing that you have to remember. Okay, that's the only one thing that I'll just remind you that just the smallest thing that you need to do. And then you're totally fine. Okay, so does that sound good to everyone? So I addressed that. Okay, so one option is sports page. Okay, sports page serves kind of classic American things like chicken fingers and barbecue and things like that, which I think that would be really, really good. And I haven't been there too much. It's been many years since the last time I've been there, so I think that Chuck would really enjoy it. Um, because I think that everyone would, if you like that sort of thing. Okay, so that's one option. Okay, I'll leave it at open ended. And if we come to a decision, we'll at a tie. Then I'm going to be having Chuck wake it up and decide what he wants if something is even, and preferably something with beef in it, if you know what I mean. So anyway, so sports page, one option. The next option is a new restaurant, a new Mexican restaurant, not the La Casa one, but Las Flores. Las Flores, or I don't really know how to spell that. So it serves Mexican food. Godfather's Pizza used to be there, and then went out of business, and then it's a pretty popular restaurant. And I have to say that it's a little bit better than the La Casa, particularly its side dishes, and its salad and guacamole or everything. It's very filling. And now here's the one thing I have to judge about this, is that the food is going to be, fancy, and it's going to be really good. But you might be thinking, doesn't that sound more like a place I would go to dinner and not for lunch, because it's a little heavy for lunch? I just want to say that back in the day they did have a really big lunch, and they had something called supper, which was just a simple dinner, like soup or casserole or something light. Um, um, so it's really up to you. I mean, you might this may be a little more dinner-ish, but I'm in for anything that you have to decide. Another option would be this is going to be more of a lunch type place. It's called Mish Mash, and this place also has outdoor seating. And remember in the Just Said Magic when Chuck or Jack, yeah, Jack, those names are Bonding. Zach Callison, which is the real name, of course, Zach. But is it okay if I call you your name that you played? Yeah, that's what we do here at the inventing. And you didn't seem to mind. And I knew what your name was at first. And I hope that when I first called you that you weren't like caught off guard or anything. Okay. Yeah, and if you're hiding any emotions or anything inside, then just be honest about it, because I don't have to call you that if you don't want to be called that. It's just like I remember making up the name Labimbi Growis. Well, that was someone else. That was the other Minton, because her other name is Julie Eskinwell, her real name, but her Labimbi name is Labimbi Growis. But so anyway, so you have three options. So Mishmash does have outdoor seating, and I think it's going to be a nice day today. The interesting thing about Mishmash is that it's a sandwich place. But here's what makes it unique. Instead of bread for the sandwiches, it has biscuits for the sandwiches. And it has really good sandwiches, like, it has like, I don't know, I remember it having, it also has, one of the really good sandwiches is kicking ham. I don't know what that is. It's like a ham and cheese sandwich with like something very spicy and like apricot jam. And ham and jam, which do rhyme, ham pairs really, really well with things like dried fruit and jams and those kind of things. It's really, really complimenting. Because ham has kind of a sweet flavor that bonds so well with something sweet and fruity. So that's one really good sandwich, but there's a lot of things on the menu. And the menu isn't big and it isn't hard to decide. It has several sandwiches. It also has a couple of other things as well. And you can also, I believe, that you can get soup. Soup as a side with it, and chips. You can pick out your own chips as well. And also you can pick out it's like like you can just decide what your drink is, of course, like any restaurant. But and they also it's kind of like Mama P's. It's kind of like Mama P's a little bit. Just how the restaurant works. So Mama P's and Mishmash, those restaurants are like with the food that it serves, and you kind of like a luncheon type place. It has desserts on the counter that you can go back and pick. Like, for example, it has like it's like I remember having like a cake that was really good that had apricots in it. It was nice and fruity. So they have a good variety of desserts that you can pick from. Um, uh, if you want it after you're done eating, that they have free, or just as maybe like an afternoon snack. You can go in and have desserts. But so anyway, that's what it is. And if the weather feels us nicely, then we can go sit outside. And again, it isn't a terribly big place. It's a reasonably sized place. And again, remember the germ killers, okay? So that's 3 options. The next option is a place that I have never tried yet. So here's actually a couple more options. Wynn's, we've gone to Wynn's before, and a place that was recommended to me long ago is called Brick House. I have never been to Brick House before. I don't know what kind of food that it serves. It probably serves just basic things. I've never been there. So I think that if we do decide on going there, then it'll be definitely experiencing somewhere where I've never been. I think that I might like it. So it all depends on what kind of restaurant and what place, what types of food that you want. So these are your options. Okay. So what's going to be happening is I just want you to take a moment and think about it. So remember, so Sports Page serves kind of like basic things like fries and like chicken fingers and barbecue and fish and chips type place. Las Flores serves Mexican food. Mishmash is a lunch type place, which will make sense, that serves sandwiches and soups and chips and desserts. Wynn's, as you know, is kind of interlinked with the Brick House. Wynn's also makes really, really good pizza. As well as barbecue and fancy lunch type things, and also gyro. I've tried the gyro salad, and I think it's okay. But the gyro is really, really famous and popular and good too. It wins. And then the Brick House serves things like pizza and barbecue and wings and you name it. So it's all based around what you want. I do not care what you decide. Any of these sounds good to me. Okay? So just take a few moments and see what you all have to decide, okay, and then we'll do the voting, okay? Alright. So, what's gonna be happening is, let's see here. So, this is how this is gonna work, okay? You're going to be shutting your eyes, okay? And when I call out one of these options, you're going to be raising your hand. And the most amount of people who raises their hand at one option, that will be the option. Again, majority rules, but we'll go back and we'll keep doing these, lunch occasions with the Menton headquarters, and we will go through all of these options, just so that it's fair for everybody else, okay? But we can't go to all of these places at once, can we? Because A, there'd be too much food, and B, we can't do that. It would not make sense to do that. But so if we're at a tie, you know the deal. You're going to be deciding which one that you particularly want if someone's tied. So, anyway, let's start. So, those in favor, I'm not going to be doing it. Because any of these looks good to me, but if I had to decide, I'd go somewhere where I've never been, and that would be Brookhouse. But so anyway, now close your eyes, and I want you, right now, anyone, so raise your hands if you want to go to sports page for lunch. Okay, there's quite a few of you in here. Okay. Looks like a good half of you. Alright. So, I'll just, so I'll just write the words half vote, just so that I can remember who did what. Okay. Las Flores. Okay. 5 people. Okay. Mishmash. Alright. Okay. About 6. One more. Wins again. Alright. 10 people. And Brookhouse. Okay, that's probably because you've never been there and you want to try something new. Okay, there's about most of all of you, which is about like 20. No. 19. There's 20 of you in here. So 19 out of you. So, wait a second. Okay. Wait, no, there's, Shiitake. Okay, there's not 20 people in this room. Okay. Alright, so, now I also need to take into consideration if these places, they're serving lunch at the times, at that time. I don't know. I'm sure that they do. Okay. Well, based off of the, let's